So yeah, the title isn't wrong. After everything I said about buy a DJI Action 2, don't get the 3, I have sold my Action 2, but I'm going to give you 3 main reasons why I did it. So let's start off with the first one, and that for me, just POV mode in general. So DJI included a nice magnetic pendant that goes under your top. It's nice and inconspicuous, it's included, so you don't have to buy things like the chesty mount from GoPro or any cheaper Chinese ones, whatever. You clipped it on, away you go. Now, I like to do POV street video, anyone who watches this channel. If you don't watch it and you like POV, consider subscribing. Highly appreciated. But DJI claim that you could use both when you can't. They then released a video which was like you can only use a single pendant, which is fine, but you've got a couple of limitations there. 1, short battery life. 2, short memory. So basically both of them, if you're shooting in 4K 24, the battery life and the memory run out at about 25 minutes. So that for me, firstly, not long enough. Secondly, if you then attach the other module, so whether you've got the power module or the front screen module, I just feel like on a mount, like on the GoPro's mount, on the pendant, not possible. It falls off or it's super shaky footage, it's not usable. Then when you use something like this, it just doesn't feel right. Like you've got it on there, but it's tall and it doesn't, something about it just isn't quite right. But if you want to add an external mic, or you want extended battery, or you need longer running time, you've got to use both. Which then brings us another scenario. The other day, it started raining while I was out and I'd got it on. Now, the bottom module is not waterproof. So, you know, I was worried about, well, is it gonna get inside any of the ports? I mean, the microphone port was being used. The SD card had got an SD card in it. So there's some kind of waterproof in there if you like, at least it's not an open hole. POV, it's a letdown. You know, they included the additional pendant. It's not really fit for purpose. If you want a 5-minute POV, fantastic. But if you want it for longer than that, which is kind of how it's been sold, it's no good. So my second point, battery life. You know, it kind of goes in with the first one. You know, those additional batteries are like £50, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I've noticed that DJI claim about 170 minutes or something, just shy of 3 hours. You don't get that. You get about 2 hours or so, depending on what you're doing. And it's not good enough for the amount you have to pay for them. It's as simple as that. It's a quick one. The batteries, additional batteries are too expensive. You can buy Insta360 or GoPro batteries, or even obviously batteries for the DJI, the Osmo Action, the 1, or even the Action 3. They've gone back to just batteries, which even official ones are like half the price of the Action 2 ones. So there's no excuse in my opinion. And obviously if you were vlogging, say, and you need that additional battery, you'd then have to buy an additional touchscreen module, which is like £130 or something. It's just outrageous, it's just too expensive. And then thirdly, kind of a controversial one, when I buy anything, whether that be camera gear, anything like that, and different things, I guess, household items in a way, but not quite, they're a bit of an investment, and you want, when a time comes to sell them, to upgrade, etc., you kind of want a bit of a return, don't you? You know, if you've got an iPhone, you have it for a couple of years, you're going to get a fair return on it. Big brand names like, if you have a GoPro, old GoPro like Hero 7s now, they're still selling for like £200. Now, I sold my Action 2, obviously second hand, and I got just shy of £200 for it, for the dual screen combo. And no one wants one. So this is the point. No one wants it. You know, it's been that heavily criticised for its overheating, for non-replaceable lens cover, the battery, all of that. People don't want one. So you've kind of got to give it away. I mean, if you were one of the early adopters and you paid sort of £450 for one, I mean, you're in for a heck of a loss compared to like a GoPro or whatever. And it's a shame, really. And DJI themselves tried to help out. Obviously, they gave out the free case to try and help with the overheating. They also sent it out to a few creators on YouTube that I saw who wouldn't usually do that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, they were doing how good the Action 2 is, because obviously DJI paid them to do a video. You know, and the camera's just, it's dead. You know, if you've got one and you use it, great. But there's going to be no support going forwards. You're going to have to sell it cheap when you do finally get rid of it. And if you break the screen, in all fairness, just throw it in the bin. Because it's dead. Like, it's a dead camera now. And it's such a shame, because it was a great innovation. But it's a shame, really, because if you're into, say, aviation, I work in civil aerospace, so obviously I get it. The Airbus A380, that double-decked aircraft, before its time, really. You know, it's a fantastic aircraft, but high maintenance, high operating costs, airlines couldn't fill it. The Action 2 is a bit the same, you know, it's maybe before its time. It was completely radical compared to their Osmo Action 1 or even like a GoPro, and it's just not worked. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant about the Action 2. Let me know down in the comments if you got one. Are you planning to sell it? Were you going to buy one when they were cheap or did you buy one on like the Black Friday sales? Because I noticed obviously Amazon and DJI were trying to shift them at real low prices, lower than I've ever seen new. Did you get one? Let me know. Are you going to buy one second hand super cheap, and then there's not much of a loss if you break it or you sell it on again? Yeah, let me know in the comments. As ever, please like, please subscribe. Apologies for the lack of content and stuff the past few weeks. I've moved house. You may be thinking, hang on Steve, you're always shooting in this room. That is because this is my partner's house, but I live here full time now. I've sold my house. I had to put a lot of the stuff in storage. You know what it is, if you move house, you've got to sort everything out. It's a pain. You have to pack, move, hate it, but it's done now. So hopefully within the next few weeks I can start releasing a bit more content before Christmas. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one.